Raider Nation, listen up, because what I'm about to say could shake up the entire secondary. There's a name floating in the wind, Justin Simmons. Yes, that Justin Simmons, one of the smartest, hardest-hitting free safeties in the game, and if the Raiders make the right move this offseason, he could be wearing silver and black. Now, before we dive into this explosive development, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, smash that like button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a breaking Raiders update. Let's get into it. Look, we all know it. The biggest hole in this Raiders roster right now is at free safety. And while linebacker Jermaine Pratt added some serious muscle to the middle, the back end of this defense still needs a general. Simmons could be that guy. The new leadership under John Spytek and Pete Carroll isn't messing around. The message? Compete. Get better. Every day. If there's a player out there who can level up this team, they're going after him. And Simmons? He's not just available, he's a game changer. Bringing him in wouldn't just fill a need, it would instantly elevate the Raiders' defense from vulnerable to vicious. And Raider Nation, if you're with me on this, let it be known. Let Simmons hear it. Drop a Raider Nation in the comments and show the world who we want in Vegas. Because if Justin Simmons walks into Allegiant Stadium in silver and black, this defense won't just improve, it will transform. Now let's dig into why the Raiders should seriously consider bringing in Justin Simmons, because this isn't just speculation, it's strategy. No, I'm not claiming to have insider sources whispering in my ear, but based on everything we've seen, I'd be shocked if the Raiders aren't already eyeing Simmons. Here's why. First and foremost, free safety is the most urgent need on this roster. Period. This secondary needs a veteran presence, someone who can bring control, instinct, and leadership to the back end. While Isaiah Pola-Mao has been developing well and deserves credit for his growth, he's still more naturally suited to the strong safety role. Throwing him into deep coverage against elite quarterbacks, that's a gamble we can't afford right now. If we ask him to do too much too soon, it could hurt his confidence and his progress. And let's be honest, if the mission is to upgrade over Trayvon Moehrig, Simmons is the safer bet. He's been more consistent, more productive, and more reliable throughout his entire career. Bringing in Simmons would immediately tighten the bolts on a defense that's still finding its identity. But it's not just about need, it's also about connection. Justin Simmons has deep roots with members of this current coaching staff. Start with Joe Woods, the Raiders' pass game coordinator and defensive backs coach. He was Simmons' first NFL position coach in Denver, and later became his defensive coordinator. Woods knows exactly what Simmons brings to the table, and how to unleash his full potential. And then there's Brian Stark, recently hired by the Raiders after 13 years with the Broncos. He worked his way up from the scouting department and was part of the same front office when Simmons was drafted. That familiarity matters. It builds trust, and trust is currency in today's NFL. The Raiders are clearly building something different in 2025. They're not just collecting talent. They're assembling a roster that makes sense, built on fit, relationships, and chemistry. And Simmons? He checks every box. Let's not overlook what the Raiders' front office moves are really signaling. When the team chose to part ways with Champ Kelly, it wasn't a casual reshuffling. It was a strategic pivot, bringing in Brian Stark as the new assistant general manager. Now, pair that with Joe Woods already overseeing the secondary, and you've got two key figures in the building who know exactly what Justin Simmons brings to the field. This isn't about rumors. No one's leaking secrets. This is about connecting the dots. The Raiders have made deliberate moves this offseason. They brought in leaders who have worked with Simmons firsthand. Add to that the team's glaring need at free safety. And it doesn't take a genius to see what might be cooking. Ask yourself, would Justin Simmons instantly be the best free safety on the Raiders roster? To me, the answer isn't just yes, it's obvious. This is the kind of signing that could bring the whole defense into sharper focus, just like the acquisition of Jermaine Pratt brought stability to the linebacker unit. You don't just improve with a guy like Simmons, you upgrade your entire defensive philosophy. In 2025, the Raiders are chasing more than wins. They're chasing identity, and Simmons might just be the final piece to solidify it. Now let's get real. How can the Raiders not be at least exploring the idea of adding Justin Simmons? Sure, maybe Simmons is waiting out the offseason grind, skipping OTAs, sitting through mini-camp from a distance. But that's not unusual for a player of his stature. Veterans like him have earned the right to be selective. But from the Raiders' perspective, this is exactly the kind of opportunity you don't ignore. At the very least, you pick up the phone. Why? Because Simmons isn't just experienced, he's reliability personified. Since 2017, he's started at least 12 games every single season. That's 8 straight years of being available, durable, and dependable. Across 134 career games, with 124 starts, he's quietly built one of the most consistent resumes among safeties in the league. And it's not just about showing up, it's about showing out. Simmons has at least 2 interceptions in every season of his career. That kind of production, over nearly a decade, that's elite consistency. His career numbers, 32 interceptions, 71 pass breakups, scream one thing: ball hawk. He's exactly the center field general this defense needs. Yes, he's turning 32, but last season, Simmons posted one of the best coverage years of his entire career. Opposing quarterbacks had one of their lowest passer ratings when targeting him. He also allowed fewer receiving yards than ever before. So, the age question? It doesn't hold up under scrutiny. Now picture this: a seasoned vet like Simmons in the same room as a developing talent like Isaiah Pola-Mao. The mentorship alone could fast-track this secondary's growth. Throw in coaches like Joe Woods and a locker room led by Pete Carroll, and Simmons isn't just a good fit. He's the missing piece. The Raiders have made it clear they want high-character, battle-tested veterans around their young core. Simmons fits that model to perfection. The clock's ticking, and the opportunity is right there, waiting. There's really no debating it anymore. Justin Simmons would be the best free safety on the Raiders roster the moment he signs the contract. The case is already strong. It's a clear positional need, he's reliable, and he fits with the current staff like a glove. But let's go deeper, because there's even more reason to believe Simmons should land in Las Vegas. Here's a big one: AFC West experience. Simmons knows this division inside and out. He's spent 8 seasons battling quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Russell Wilson. That kind of familiarity is gold when you're building a defense to survive the brutal AFC West. And this kind of experience, it matters to people at the very top. Mark Davis has always valued players who understand division rivalries. Simmons has spent his entire career studying the very offenses the Raiders face twice a year. That insight, how they run routes, disguise plays, and attack coverage, is invaluable. It's more than just signing a good player. It's signing someone who's already been playing chess against your enemies, and winning. Of course, Davis isn't micromanaging these decisions. He trusts the current regime to build the best possible roster. And if you're John Spice or Pete Carroll, this is a no-brainer. You get a high IQ defender, a locker room leader, and someone who immediately raises the bar. So, let's call it what it is. The stars are aligning. Simmons is the kind of move that can help solidify the Raiders' identity in 2025. A veteran who's battle-tested, scheme-savvy, and hungry for a new chapter. And Las Vegas? That could be the perfect place to write it. The Raiders' front office has made sharp, calculated moves all offseason. But sometimes, it's the subtle ones that make a real statement. You see, when a veteran like Justin Simmons has spent his entire career in the AFC West, it's not just a resume detail, it's a strategic advantage. That kind of insider knowledge doesn't just help on game day, it sharpens every film session, every practice, every snap. It's the edge you want in a division that's an absolute war zone. And let's not kid ourselves, Mark Davis appreciates that edge. Experience within the division carries weight, especially for a franchise that's looking to rise above years of inconsistency. The Raiders face AFC West rivals 6 times a year. When you already know your enemy's playbooks inside and out, that's not just helpful, that's lethal. But here's the kicker: the Raiders can afford it. Las Vegas has over $36 million in cap space, 5th most in the entire league. So the question isn't, can they sign Simmons? It's, why haven't they already? He fills their biggest positional need, connects with key members of the coaching staff, brings unmatched durability and veteran leadership, and has battle-tested experience in the AFC West. Add to that the financial flexibility, and this should be an easy call. And let's be honest, Simmons won't break the bank. Safeties aren't commanding top-tier contracts in today's market. You might not even need to offer more than a 1-year incentive-loaded deal. The value is there. The need is obvious. The opportunity is real. So, if you're building a roster to win football games, not next year, but right now, you don't sit on your hands. You pick up the phone. You call Justin Simmons' agent and you say, "What's it going to take to bring you to Vegas?" Because the time for talk is over. It's time to just win, baby.